It's Speaking with Gravity, and I am Curvin.
I'm Ty.
Joshua, aka Garvey. Let's go.
And we are your host on this podcast. We talk about mental health and how everything affects everything.
We do.
With every episode, the goal is to have a conversation that will make you think, make you feel, make you do what is best for you. I'm a therapist, but this isn't therapy. It's a podcast. And I also want to make sure I say the disclaimer, which I don't always do, but I try to remember. The contents of Speaking with Gravity are for informational purposes only. The content is not intended to replace professional psychological care, professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor and or other qualified health professionals regarding your personal health. Do not disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking care because of content from this recording. Utilizing the information provided is solely at your own risk. If you are in crisis, please call 911 or 988 or your local emergency line. So, we got that disclaimer out of the way. So let's go into our episode where we're going to do a little bit of self-exploration amongst us, the three of us. But before we get into that, Josh, can you read off the Twitter discussion about self-discovery?
Yes, sir. Life is a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. The challenge we have is the willingness to address our own flaws and imperfections head on. Once we become willing to work towards self-betterment, no matter how hard that might be, we open up doors we never deemed imaginable. This comes from Spicy Cuban Girl on Twitter.
I don't really have too much to add to that. I mean, it's pretty spot on, which is why I wanted to share that. All right, QD of the hour.
Cutie of the Hour, which is another version of Fun Facts. Information for you to be able to give your friends, family, colleagues, coworkers, and church members. We tend to view ourselves in ways that are similar to the way other people view us. Researchers thought this was because we humans, as social creatures, learn a lot about our identity from our interactions with others. This is from an American psychologist. The Self-Concept Revisited, or A Theory of a Theory in 1973.
Yeah, back in 1973, they was talking about they called it self-concept at that time.
I think it's still legitimate, though.
Yeah, it's definitely legitimate. But it's funny to me how we change words. Self-discovery, self-concept, self-exploration. Okay. Getting to know yourself better can help you identify your current abilities while also helping you understand how to actually develop those abilities. We are constantly evolving, expanding, and contracting, which causes us to be at a constant state and process of discovery. So today, we're going to work with some therapy cards that I found on IG from Dr. Ebony. We got these cards on display here on the table, and they're specifically for the African American community. And she got them divided up amongst men and male and female. There's no right or wrong answers. Each card gives us a chance to kind of explore and discover more about ourselves. The three of us, have not. We haven't looked at these, so the stuff that we see that we're gonna say is gonna be coming from out the top of the dome and from our heart. Now, please, if you get something and you don't want to talk about it in front of millions of people, because we got millions of people watching us, if you don't want to do that, then just put it back in there at the bottom of the list, so we just won't go over it. But even on here. One of the things that she says is working through this deck when you're distressed, upset, or vulnerable to uncontrollable emotions might not be ideal. Take time to sit with and think about your responses. And you could do it in an order or a sequence. But again, it's a chance to be open and having a place of thoughtful exploration. So that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go out the top, and this is about knowing yourself. Taisha is always talking about understanding yourself, taking time to yourself to understand. This is what we're talking about when we say that, like really asking yourself hard questions of this, that, and the third, and understanding what it is before, instead of having people, family members, friends, or society affect what you think. So,
Yeah. So I think it's good.
who y'all want to go first?
Ladies first, so I'll go.
Oh, look
I
And I
know.
want to say if you definitely people challenge yourself, to
Oh, yeah.
answer, yourself, but you don't have to
Sure.
do it in front of a lot of people if you don't want to. If you're exploring yourself, you don't have to do it in front of a lot of people if you don't want.
This is my therapy card again from Dr. Ebony. We'll try to put a link in there for her.
Let's go.
Alrighty. Mindset. The mindset cards are designed.
Oh, you about to read what it's for?
Oh, so.
So go straight to. You can
Well,
read that.
mindset, ultimately, these cards are designed to guide us through exploring mental blocks that might get in our way of reaching our fullest and highest potential. While exploring these aspects of the mindset that is working well for us, the prompts in this category of mindset will help us to think about our own beliefs, ideas, expectations, and thoughts that can sometimes create more problems than solutions. The universe knew it was doing by allowing me to come to this deck first.
Mindset. Dude.
Yes.
The mindset deck.
What situations evoke a narrative of defeat? Task. Of course, we're going to verbalize this, but journal or discuss with someone you trust where you learned this narrative. So, what situations evoke a narrative of defeat?
Do you want? First of all, do you?
I
want
don't
to answer
mind
that?
answering.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just trying to think first what situations have evoked a narrative of defeat for me. Past relationship. It was my first intimate relationship. So yeah, things of course didn't go as planned or as we thought they were going to go. So just, a lot of emotions, processing that in unhealthy ways in the beginning. Still on this journey, negative perceptions of self, immature reactions, to certain situations around that, which kind of, again, just a whole self-sabotage thing, defeating thoughts, negative perception. I think I've kind of covered that. So, yeah, that was one.
Okay.
There's no right or wrong answer,
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah.
right or wrong. All right, Josh, me or you?
I'll go ahead and go. No, you go ahead and go. You got it.
All right, just pass me one. It don't matter.
So will I take two because one is
Yeah,
that explaining?
No, that's not explaining. I'm just
Okay.
gonna ask the question. All right. Which beliefs or thoughts about yourself? Which beliefs or thoughts about yourself are difficult to share with others? Think about where you learned to think this way and what makes them difficult to share.
I had to drink water for that one.
I know, right? This is one is deep. Why'd I get the deepest one?
You ain't gotta-
Which
you
beliefs
pass
or
it if
thoughts
you-
about yourself are difficult to share? I think this has more to do with imposter syndrome, but just feeling like I'm not good enough. That belief or a thought is difficult to share with people because, I've accomplished a few things in my little lifetime, but still feeling like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this, or if I'm gonna be able to do this. And these are not like, it's not like I'm trying to make it to the NBA. I mean, these are things that people can do, but still feeling like, I don't know if I'm good enough to be able to do that. Where did I learn that to think this way? I think it is, as I alluded to in a previous episode, it is kind of like being lost in the shuffle, or feeling like I was lost in the shuffle amongst my siblings, amongst my friends in middle school, elementary school. Like, you had the cool kids, you had the kids that weren't so cool, and I wasn't like at the bottom. I went at the top. I'm just in there. You may or may not remember me, and I think that kind of played into not feeling like you're not good enough. And what makes that difficult to share? Because I'm always kind of trying to propel other people, like, believe in yourself, and then I have to battle and fight with imposter syndrome myself. So that makes it difficult to share. And yeah, that's it. That's how I wanna give. Whew. It's just even sharing it, just even talking about it out loud that's something.
I have had similar feelings, thoughts. Imposter syndrome is big, yeah, thoughts of not feeling like I'm enough on all levels. But
Yeah.
okay. Josh.
Do y'all ever run into that like now? And what do you do like to combat that?
I do run into it now. The people that I have around me, you want to have a good support system. So, some of the people I have around me, they don't care, man. They don't give a darn. But then other people around you, taking some of the things that they say, accepting compliments is one of the things I like to tell people. You gotta accept the compliments when you get them. So, for instance, just with this podcast itself, I had an idea to do a podcast. In my mind, I quickly realized I can't do this solo dolo. So I got some colleagues and peers to join the board, and then we just went down the process of doing it. Well, even in the process of doing it, I felt like, okay, I'm not necessarily good at doing this, but the platform is okay. And then occasionally the compliments will come. You're doing a good job. Man, I really like this part right here. Sometimes that part that they liked included me. Sometimes it doesn't. But taking those compliments and being like, okay, this is where it's at. Because sometimes, we get ready to do this, that imposter syndrome kick in. That's why y'all got the show notes late. It's like, I just don't want to I want to do it. I know I need to do it. I need to keep doing it. I like doing it, but then sometimes you just slack on it. But and then even this week, I got the text that said, hey, y'all really hit on this last episode that y'all put out. And then it's like, yes. And that was the boost that I needed in that moment. So having those people that's going to give you that compliment, that's going to propel you to say, all right, not get caught up on your negative thoughts or the distorted thoughts that you have from time to time.
Sometimes if I feel that, if I might feel inadequate about something, I feel as though with like prayer and, meditation, I feel as though when I pray, y'all, I feel as though some things come to me like right during my prayer, which is kind of funny. Didn't feel like that very early in my life, but kind of like understanding sometimes. So I feel as though through prayer and giving it to God through prayer and saying, if it's your will, because I know if it's His will, then it's going to work out, how it's supposed to. I feel like that kind of takes the pressure off of me, a little bit. And, of course, taking those deep breaths,
Are you praying for me, Josh?
I will pray for you. I haven't prayed individually. I pray for all people, my loved ones, as I say. I pray for my loved ones. People who
Can I get a special shout out?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Get
What
a
about
special shout
Tyler?
out. She can get one too. Yeah. Most definitely.
Don't be trying to get out of doing your card.
No. I'm ready.
Okay.
But I wanted to
Expand on
touch
that.
on that though, imposter syndrome, because I feel like a lot of people could possibly go through that. And something like I didn't know that was a term, and when I realized that it was a term, it kind of opened it up for me. You know what I mean? Kind of opened up the understanding for me. to think about it and say, okay, I get that. I felt that before, and it was kind of encouragement for me just knowing what that was. And if it is something, then that means I wouldn't be the only person, that's going through that. So, yeah, it was good.
And just for clarity, always if we keep throwing a term out, I like to try to explain it, and I go Google it real quick. But imposter syndrome is an occurrence in which an individual doubts their skills, talents, and or accomplishments, and internalize that fear of being exposed as a fraud. Now, I don't know if I necessarily connect that last part. I don't always connect with that. Like, I don't. If there's one thing I feel like I'm not a fraud. But maybe not being good enough to be on a certain level,
Right.
Or just say if I'm doing, or you have you did it in another episode. You asked me a question that I ain't had the answer to right there. I had to go Google it. Like, I don't really like that. But some people are just good at coming off the dome with the answer. I might know the answer, but I can't come off the dome, and so I
Still
worry
wanna look
about
it
that.
up.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
I struggle curving out personally. This platform it's a challenge each and every time I come. Always going back to the QD of the hour, we tend to view ourselves in ways that are similar to the way other people view us. And I kind of don't. I don't always praise myself, look back at the things that I have accomplished. Just, again, a really negative thing. How did I sound? That's a big one. Did I say it correctly? Well, who says it's correctly? But which is why I kind of refrain from saying a lot. We're just being completely transparent here. So, for those who may wonder why I don't speak as much, as it's those thoughts that I'm processing as I sit here. So,
I feel like this is helping you being on this platform, is it?
it is, but then there's that fear factor, which is why I don't go back and watch the video. Thoughts of what am I saying? How did I say it? Dang, I shouldn't have said that 30 seconds ago. And it's like, well, it's out there for you all to view. So,
So you ain't went back yet and watched one of them?
We should watch it.
it's a challenge. And I
We-
spoke
we
with my
gonna-
therapist about it. She gave it to me for a homework assignment. Go listen to yourself, and I have yet to do so. It's
We
a
support it, though.
internal thing.
We need to do a viewing party at your house.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. we really need to plan
A
that.
color party, too.
A color
Okay.
party. What's a color party?
Where you wear a certain color, from what I've gathered off of social media, and you bring items, food-related items if you want, or you can switch it up related to that color. So if you do orange, you may want to bring in some melon. You may want to bring a macaroni pie if you're feeling funky,
Would y'all do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just not at my house. Whose house can I come to? I don't have as much space to host. I really don't.
Y'all don't want to come to the A.
I would love
Hey,
to.
shut up, I'm in the A now.
We can figure those
From the-
plans
from the
out
wood.
later.
We could do that.
Josh is on you.
Yeah. see how he keep avoiding it, though, right?
Nah, come on, nah. Triggers.
So you got the trigger deck.
Okay, so I got the explanation for triggers. In case you don't know what a trigger is, the trigger cards help you explore emotional responses and urges that might get in your way, while also acknowledging how some of responses are working for you. The cards in this category guide the exploration of those responses that are creating more problems than solutions. The prompts and tasks will help you to engage more effectively with emotional triggers and challenging experiences. So, triggers. Where do you feel safest expressing your emotions? And it says, talk with someone you trust about what makes these places, moments, people feel safe. So that's just some encouragement. Where do you feel safest expressing your emotions? I'll throw it up on there too. Where do I feel safest? I feel safest expressing my emotions to myself. I express my emotions to myself first before I would, if it was an emotion that I thought was, that I was confused about, or that was, causing conflict, or I didn't totally understand. If it was a trigger that was associated, emotion that was associated with a trigger, I would, communicate and express that to myself first. Or like we said earlier, prayer. I go to God in prayer for. I try to go about everything. You know what I mean? So, yeah, myself. And if it had to be a person, let's just say it had to be a person, it would definitely, be someone I trust, like my dad. Having a good relationship with my dad and an open relationship with my dad is a blessing. And I have one with my mother as well. But being a man, I think being able to go to a man, I think is very powerful. So if you're a dad, create that space for your son. If you're an uncle, create that space for your nephew. You know what I'm saying? Brother, big brother, create that space for you. For your little brother, or cousins, whatever. But I go to myself, and if I do go to a person to express things, it'd be probably my dad. Even before, I'm sorry, probably before my mom, it'll probably be my dad. If it's something that's real, yeah.
All right. Ty, it's on you again. I ain't had nothing else to say to that.
Yeah.
That's big.
So I chose the habit deck of cards. Habits, of course, are designed to guide you through exploring habit blocks that might get in the way of you reaching your fullest potential and highest self. The habit cards are designed to guide you through exploring habit blocks that might get in the way of you reaching your fullest potential and highest self, while also identifying those habits that are working well for you. The prompts in this category will help you think about ways in which certain habits are no longer working for you and resulting in ineffective thoughts and behaviors. Again, the universe be knowing. What makes it difficult to change? Examples could be fear, family, culture. The task here is to explore what might happen, good or bad, in your life if you were to make changes.
What makes it difficult to change?
I think for me is me. Sometimes I get in the way of my own, ability to do what it is that I know I'm capable of doing. So fearful thoughts, lack of preparation, procrastination. I'm not going to really say family or anything because I have a great support system. People may not always say the things that are as supportive, but I know there's no ill intent behind it, But for me to make that change, honestly, it's me. I get in the way of my own self sometimes. And I procrastinate. I'm a procrastinator. Proper planning prevents poor performance, and oftentimes I don't prepare for certain things. And then I kind of beat myself up when it's like, well, you knew. So, yeah, just being a little more, I don't know.
I want to jump in. I'm going to play Josh right now.
Okay.
I want to jump in on that one. I think for me, what makes it difficult to change for me is I'm going to say my church. Like, I'm okay with, when I say change, I'm talking about doing something that goes against the norm.
Okay.
But I don't have a problem with answering to or saying anything to my family, friends, whatever, with this whole entrepreneur thing.
Sure.
It would be way easier for me to just go work somewhere. I'm okay with people, working with coworkers and stuff like that. I guess you could say, a unicorn in our field because I'm a male, and I'm an African American male, so I'm a unicorn, and most people are gonna want to hire me. I get along with most people too, so it would be way easier just to go work somewhere and make a certain amount of money. Mm-hmm. But it's going against the grain to try to just reach out there on your own and just create something. But I don't have a problem with explaining that to people or going against other people's thoughts of what I really should do. But when it comes down to my church, like I fear God, right? So, because I fear God, I'm led by the church. So whatever their thought process is going to influence me. Or prevent me from kind of jumping out there and doing X, Y, and Z. I can't really give. Well, I can give an example, like social, like media, like this. It wasn't. I'm not saying that they don't want me to do it, but growing up, it wasn't like, oh yeah, you can go be an actor or an actress, because what you're doing, you're pretending, you're pretending to be something, and all of the stuff that comes with actors and actresses. You think drugs and parties and stuff like that, and so of course they're not encouraging it, and so that kind of parlays into the age that I'm at now. All right, I'm doing media. Do I supposed to do media as somebody who's... So all of that is influencing or making it difficult to kind of do stuff that's not with the norm for me. And the reason I wanted to answer that is to kind of put that out there. Like, saying it out loud, you are challenging yourself. You are getting to know yourself. You're becoming more aware. Oh, okay. This is why I move the way I move. This is why I do what I do and say what I say. So, did you want to chime in on that one, or you gonna go to the other?
No, we're good.
Okay, all right. Go. Is it me? It's my turn. Okay. Give me a habit for some. Which situations led you to engage in behaviors that hurt yourself or others? Identify the consequences of these behaviors. Which situations led you to engage in behaviors that hurt yourself and others? I don't know if I want to answer this one. I don't want to answer that one. Give me
Okay.
another.
Josh, would you like to answer that one on Curve and Spin?
We're
I mean, it just go with the flow of you.
making up the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, making up rules as we go along.
It don't
Do you
I
want to
just
answer?
pass. It's up to you. I just passed Curvin another card though, if you feel comfortable.
Let me look at it real quick.
Okay,
I
while
might
you
have something
ponder.
people might can't have no-
All right.
Curvin, go to the next one while you think on it.
All right.
Okay.
Which habits once helped you but no longer served you? Sometimes we develop habits out of a need to survive. It's okay to let go of what no longer serves you. I don't want to answer this one either. Which habits once helped you but no longer serves you? I think one of the habits
pull from
that
the
I picked up, I'm going to say social drinking, although how much social it was is probably more consistent than it was social. But that was a habit I picked up because I called myself going to like parties and stuff like that, and just wanting to drink sociably to kind of loosen up and meet people. But I don't have to do that anymore. And I wasn't doing it to be the life of the party, but I simply was just to loosen myself up, be able to talk to people, get out on the dance floor and all of that. I'm not a dancer anyway. But I don't need that to do anymore. That's the first thing that came to my mind. So I'm going with the first thing. I'm pretty sure it's something else, but that's not a habit that I need anymore.
Okay.
You want to answer
I
that?
just didn't totally hear what you had said. I mean, I heard your response, but not the question.
You so disrespectful.
What you had-
Okay,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Or you gonna speak to it?
So did you want to do that one?
Or you
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
switch? Okay.
Which situations is it lead or led? Which situations lead you to engage in behaviors that hurt
Lead would be
yourself?
LEAD. Lead would be LED.
Yeah, it's lead. Then. I thought you said lead the first time though. I thought you said lead when
I
you
might have.
when you read it. Yeah, I
Oh
think
God.
what situations lead you to engage in behaviors that hurt yourself and others? I'm gonna say I try my best not to hurt myself and others.
Lead.
Oh well, when I feel like I feel the need to get people back. When I feel
For real?
slighted. Yeah. And when I feel slighted, that don't mean that So what I'll do though, y'all, I'll try to do it in a way. It's not always what you say, but it's how you say it. So I'll try. What I'll try to do though, forget that. What I'll try to do is I'll try to let somebody know how I feel about what they did. You know, try to let somebody know how I feel about what they did. And if they don't care, then I'll just separate myself from them. You know, separate myself from that situation. Because I don't want to, you know, I don't want that type of energy around me. But yeah, since I need you to engage in, I don't know, maybe I need to pick another.
I think when I'm looking at these, even
Identify the consequences of these.
I have seen. We ain't picking none of the questions that I saw, but I thought these were some deep questions.
Yeah.
This is deep.
These are really deep. This is when you talking about self-discovery. You were talking about really sitting there and thinking about it. And I think on some of them, she even say, "Take your time to think about it." These are some of these questions. It's one of those things where I might need to sit with this all day to process this. And you know, when we within this podcast, we're just trying to go with the first thing that kind of come to mind. But yeah, and that one, I didn't want to talk about it because what came to my mind first, I don't want to talk
I
about.
want to say what lead me to hurt myself sometimes is being impulsive, and that leads me to hurt others sometimes by being impulsive. So in those times when I'm not taking time to pause, deep breath, taking time to pause and understand what's going on in these situations. If I'm being impulsive, no telling how I might react, right? So encouraging y'all, like, don't be impulsive. When you feel disrespect, when you feel any kind of way, take a pause. Because it says identify the consequences of these behaviors. Because consequences, it's sometimes doing something out of character, you know? You can do something that's not consistent with your character. You can blow up. You can say something that you really don't mean because you couldn't find the right words at the time, you know? So think about that. But yeah, those are the type of whenever I feel I'm getting impulsive or something. So it could be, like I say, if I feel like slighted or disrespected, those will be those type of moments.
All right, let's go for the last round. Last one for each one of us.
Which one did I not pull from? Did I?
I
I don't think
Hold on.
Which emotions are the most difficult for you to sit with? Next time you feel that emotion, try riding the wave without immediately changing it. Honestly, I don't really think I have any emotions that are difficult for me to sit with. I mean, I acknowledge how I'm feeling and I try to honor it.
That's important. That's big.
Yeah, I don't think I have. The processing part, you know, at times can be challenging. And how, of course, how you feel.
It's jealousy for me. That's hard for me to sit with.
That's
It's hard
for me too.
It's real hard for me to sit.
Yeah.
Because then I go to what you were saying earlier. If I'm sitting with jealousy, now I'm thinking about revenge
Yeah.
or getting even. You
Yeah.
know, that's hard for me to sit with jealousy.
Definitely, it is hard. I don't like the feelings that I feel, you know, internally when I have those type of emotions. So, of course, some type of rapid thoughts, unhealthy thoughts come into play, but I try not to act on it. That's the thing. I let these unhealthy thoughts come about because then I'm processing. So it's like that won't be the right move. You know what I'm saying? Not for yourself, not for the other party. Positive thoughts. I mean, you are enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even although the thought and feeling may not align, because oftentimes I think things but not necessarily feel it, if that makes sense. Like I can think I'm great, but do I really feel like it? You know, feel that I'm great. So trying to make sure those things align with what I say and how I feel. Yeah, so I hope viewers, I answered the question.
And
Yeah.
I want to add, sometimes you can grow, like we grow, right? And we get past stuff. But when those situations come up, it can still be tough to sit with
Yeah.
sometimes, even if you've gotten over something.
Yeah.
It still be tough, maybe for a few seconds, you have to pause and what got me over before, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or may just have to get over it all the way again. So to win the battle is not always the end of the war, but you have the strength to win, though. You know what I mean? You got to keep reminding yourself of that. Got to keep reminding yourself of that. Yeah. Is it my go?
No, it's my go.
Curve.
Yeah. Let me get that last one.
Wow, we are similar.
Which situations make you feel like shutting down? Use your emotional will.
You looking up emotional well?
You don't have to
educate
tell
the
everybody
people.
what I'm doing over here, but yes, I am looking up.
I would have
emotional
looked it
will.
up too. That's what I said.
Let the people know what an emotional will is.
Is that will or well?
Will.
WHEEL.
Kirby said well. He says
Oh
I'm
man,
not
they got so
articulate,
many
y'all,
of them
but
on here.
Yeah, and they vary. With all of the different emotions.
I don't know if I would do a great job of explaining it the way that this one is presenting itself, but emotional will basically have different emotions on it: sad, mad, happy, scared, and then they take from those four, and they go a little bit deeper or expound on them. So when you're talking about scared, it might go into: are you fearful? Are you anxious? Are you helpless? And then you go from there, and then there's another level. When you're talking about being anxious, are you overwhelmed? Are you insecure? So that will is a plethora of emotions, but it all come from the base of sad, mad, happy, scared.
Kind of primary emotions.
primary
color
emotions.
wheel with primary colors. Okay.
Which situations make you feel like shutting down? And using my emotional will, probably for me,
it's a deep one too.
probably being mad. That makes me shut down because I'm fearful of what I'm gonna do
When you mad,
when I'm mad. So let me just lock it down. I'm gonna go to sleep. Let me just go to sleep.
I don't like
Go
being
to the
anxious.
next day. So yeah, that's where we at.
I don't like being anxious.
Anxious. Okay. You gonna go ahead and pick another?
Oh, y'all good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we good. We on you. You trying to avoid. You avoiding.
No, just somebody out there might not like being
This
anxious.
is
With a normalized anxiety, we all experience, general or normal anxiety. We tend to worry about things, but it just becomes a problem when we over
yeah.
generalize certain things and anticipate that something is going to happen and it doesn't, and that brings about those thoughts and feelings related to anxiety and the behaviors related to anxiety. But normally, we all experience some form of nervousness or worry. Just when it becomes excessive, and it starts to control our day-to-day thought processes and things. Am I right, Kirby? It's
You with
been a
me?
while since I provided therapy.
I'm with
but
you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
What do you need to forgive yourself for?
We didn't hear you, Josh.
What do you need to forgive yourself for?
Oh,
What do you need to forgive yourself for? Oh wow.
feel comfortable answering?
This episode is really bringing out my bedroom voice.
Uh-oh.
We don't want that.
I don't think a bedroom voice is like sexual, but it's like it is in a way, but I just mean like your tone,
You gonna answer the question?
Oh, yeah. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Probably a few things. Shoot.
Anything that you comfortable with sharing as we wind down? What do I need to forgive myself for? I personally need to forgive myself for some of the mistakes I made as I wasn't a teenager, just as a young person. And Oh. So, again.
Hey, you put it on yourself. You started talking.
Yeah, I did.
You could- It's my question. You did it.
I did it. In working with some of the people I work with, I will reflect on some of the comments that I've made in my past that I've said in a flippant manner. Just kind of like, oh, okay, boom, boom, boom. And you don't realize that something that you said or did, and I'm downplaying it as I'm explaining it, but something that you said or did can be with somebody the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And you don't always have the opportunity to go back and say you were sorry. You know, I have 2 daughters, and I think about these past relationships or situationships as they call them now that I was in, that I call myself being honest. You know how honest I was, but I call myself being honest, and I don't know how that affected somebody. I have to forgive myself for that, because that bothers me. You know, I've always prided myself on being, I don't abuse people, I don't emotionally disrespect anybody, verbally disrespect anybody, but I didn't think about just not being completely honest, and maybe participating into somebody's demise because of the way I interacted with them and engaged them. That's not. I have to forgive myself for that.
Gotcha. I may need to forgive myself for beating myself up about stuff, when I was probably immature in my thinking before. Being young, you still growing and developing. You don't have it all figured out. And for those of us who don't, we may beat ourselves up a little bit because we don't have it figured out. Because we want to know so bad. We want to understand so bad. And, we take it out on ourselves. And we may indulge in behaviors that's not, just not good for us, for our mental, spiritual, health. And in those moments, you grow from those moments. And then sometimes in moments, present moments, you may look back and it's just like you may not have forgiven yourself, I guess, for doing that to yourself back then, and it could hold you back. So maybe something that you might want to address. This is what came to mind with me. Maybe this isn't my bedroom voice. Maybe it's my therapist voice.
I'm not gonna say that.
Maybe it's my self-reflecting voice.
All right, so we could probably. It'll be difficult to go on because this is.
Want to do a rapid round?
No, not doing a rapid round.
Oh yeah, because you gotta think about these type of things.
Yeah, what would a rapid round look like to you? Just saying, like the first thing that come to your mind.
Well, that's not healthy.
Nah. It probably would be healthy. Like
it might be though. Like it might. Oh no, nah.
That ain't how she. That's not how she wanted to present it. So.
Right. So we won't go against her. But,
all right. So we'll end here with this one.
Sometimes we overthink. I want to say. Sometimes we overthink too. So.
If you get a chance, order these. I say order them. And their therapy is for the public, and it's not necessarily for just therapists. So it's not something that only we're privy to.
Really constructive.
Yeah, but you can use that along with journaling. And I meant to bring out a journaling book, but you have these questions where you can actually think about them and write them down. And the combination of journaling and processing, thinking about it in your head will help you process it. All right, so here we are. Let's talk about it. The platform. I got platform from you. But let's talk about it. The Platform by Joshua Garvey Williams. And that's how you can find him on YouTube. He has questions that make you think about life, health, family, and culture, and so much more. So go check him out there. And, of course, because of that, you'll be able to find him on his other social media platforms. Subscribe to Speaking with Gravity on Facebook and Instagram. We give you clips. We give you pictures. We give you encouragement, hopefully, from day to day. And for your event needs, check out 6-1 Event Rentals. I meant to have the picture up here, but we'll get that. And then Kodak Ready consultation for grief and so much more. So go check her out, the website. The link will be in the show notes. Gravity Counseling Group for your individual, family, and couples counseling, wellness group, and workshops. And shout out to Mr. Winston for holding down the audio and visual production. Check him out on winstonjstewart.com. And I've been meaning to do this for the last 2 episodes. But shout out to AZ Creations who got me hooked up with some of these customized tumblers and coffee mugs.
Dope, too.
Even a little chain that I'm wearing here
Okay.
to represent. So AZ Creations, I really appreciate her sharing her gift with us and our platform.
That's good.
Thank you for taking the time to listen. You could be doing anything in the world right now, but you chose to listen to us, and we appreciate that. Remember, I'm a therapist, but this isn't therapy. It's a podcast.